Hey everybody, Robbie Talks here with another update video. I'm going to talk more about Skylanders Trap Team, some ideas, and some theories that came up, and some more stuff all around. Now, first off is the magic moments. What's a magic moment? Well, when you first put a Skylander down there, it says a little catchphrase, sometimes they do a little motion or whatever, then they come back down. That's the magic moment. But in Swap Force, it's a completely different magic moment, because instead of just a little icon popping up and it's loading, instead the two elements flying and scraping across each other, showing that you're swapping two Skylanders. I noticed that in Track Team, that you have that little icon. If you've seen it, it's basically a circle. You have the little element in the middle that little spins around. Force Skylander pops up. So I'm thinking, what are they going to do with Trap Team? Is it going to be a copy paste? They just do the same thing, maybe they modify a little bit, or are they going to do that where what I think they're going to do is take the two coins, like say you have a undead element and a fire element, they're going to like kind of spin into each other, and then that character pops up. But that could be fine and good until I saw something they're doing with the new Skylander magic moments, as you'll see right now. Here, as you can see with the Chopper, you can actually see he has a full tech background. You have an actual little pedestal and stuff. As you saw with Chopper, he had a full match machinery, and I noticed other elements do that too. Like with fire, you had actual fire coming up. I think Earth had these rocks flying around, so I think they're actually making the magic moment more magical by having each element have something unique in the background. So what would Swap Force be like? Well, is it going to be like a little mixture of both? Half undead, half fire, or are they going to have all these unique fusions? 2 times 8, you have like 16 different variations, kind of like the elemental gates, where each one is unique. Like if you had a undead and life fusion, you have these dead trees or like mushrooms, because they're, they eat dead things, or decomposers. That's the word. I hope they do that, although they probably won't. But I know something else they did. In Giants, a giant character's magic moment was something really special, because you had that big old sound effect of and there's a giant, they slam it in the middle. In Swap Force, they didn't do that anymore. It was like a regular Skylander. I hope they bring it back, because it's not just another Skylander. They're like, oh, it's just a giant now. It's a giant. Bring it back and make them all unique. Like, at least copy paste the sound effect if you have to. But you're taking away the glamour of throwing in a giant. I really hope they bring that back. That was just a kind of a disappointment for me, in a way. But to my next topic, I'm going to show you the importance of co-op play, because they always say, oh, co-op play, it's drop in, drop out. And I noticed how in one video they saw how it's possibly they've now split screen, because they may have removed the tether. Another, I think it was a Skylander dad who showed that you actually saw other Skylanders in the background and other villains running around doing certain things off the screen, so they could be having a split screen. They're always stressing co-op, and certain Skylanders can even help benefit other Skylanders, as you'll see. This is evidence enough. Sonic Boom could actually heal her allies with one of her attacks in Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. So as you saw, a lot of Skylanders can benefit from a co-op play, where they will actually, cooperate, and they have certain attacks that actually blend well together. But they're really stressing the tag team in a Skylanders Trap Team. Like, for example, in the E3 they showed Chill Bill freezing an enemy, then he goes back to Snapshot, who basically blasts the character. So they kind of do that, but one of the villains, Broccoli Guy, please, what would be his final name. But I'm going to bring up a special picture of why they're really stressing it, besides the Chill Bill and Snapshot combo. Here, Broccoli Guy has a healing glyph, where any Skylander who swaps back into it will get healed, stressing even more co-op play. So as you saw, one of the new villains has his healing glyph, where his one attack is this little spinning attack, but the other one places this little glyph that reminds me of World of Warcraft, the Druids, Swiftmen, but anyways. Any Skylander who can pop back in there gets healed. And they're really stressing the fact that the villains and these Skylanders cooperate. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty interesting. But I noticed they actually released the first entire chapter with two villains, Sheep Creep and Gulper. Now Gulper entered the Soda Festival, and the more he drank, the bigger he got. But when you trap him, he's small size again. And Pop Fizz is my new favorite character. And by the way, they're releasing a series 3 from. Oh my gosh, I was so happy about that. It's Fizzy Frenzy Pop Fizz. But anyways, he also claims to be drinking soda that gives him his powers. So is soda there some kind of like super serum there? But anyways, what if you had a co-op where I would be playing as Pop-Viz and my friend would be playing as Gulper? What if I like threw a bottle at him and instead, if it landed on Gulper, he would increase in size? And you could like lob the bottles and he would keep growing or his attacks would change depending on whatever. I thought that would be an amazing addition. Not to mention just Gulper. What if other Skylanders, like if you paired up a certain Skylander and a certain villain, they could use these tag team maneuvers where you could use them actually that could complement each other. I can't really, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, what if you had a villain who had this reflect barrier, kind of like from Kid Icarus, that could deflect any projectiles, and you use on like Trigger Happy, you could like bounce off the bullets to hit specific targets. Or you had this one that could like absorb projectiles and fire them back. At the start of a chapter, you can have the guy who absorbs projectiles. Trigger Happy could shoot at him and he'll absorb it. Right when they get to the first enemies, he'll release that blast. You know, what if they could find new cooperative ways so that Skylanders and villains could really work together instead of just having two characters, having two interactive characters? I thought that was just an amazing idea. But now I'm going to bring up something new. They're bringing out new adventure packs. They did in the first game. They had four of them: Darklight Crypt, Dragon's Peak, the water ones, something about Blizzard Isles, Blizzard Islands, something like that, and Pirate Seas. Then Giants, not so much. None of them. No real adventure packs. But in Swap Force, you have Tower of Time and Shipwreck Island. I'm going to get those both, so I'll talk about those later. But they introduced this new Mirror of Mystery. They had this train one, I can't remember, Nightmare Express, I think it was called. But they had something called the Mirror of Mystery that really intrigued me. I'm going to bring a picture of it and talk about why I found it so intriguing. Here we have the Mirror of Mystery, where you can see a light and a dark Eon with a angel wings and a bat wings clip, which I found intriguing. Now, that was really intriguing because well, I don't like you saying the word intriguing, but I found that fascinating because kind of like Sonic and Scourge and all the any game or the newly released Legend of Zelda Link to the Link Between Worlds. Any game or universe that has separate timelines or alter egos, kind of like the new Injustice game, kind of like Mortal Kombat that just came out. Those kind of things intrigue me. They're like, does that involve you going to an anti-Skylands where the villains are the heroes and the Skylanders are the villains, where Chaos protects it and Eon is the villain? It's probably something a lot simpler than that. Like, I don't even know, but I'm just shooting it out there. That would be an amazing adventure pack. I don't care how much it would cost. I would buy it because that whole idea fascinates me intriguingly. Here I go saying intriguing again. But that was just it's an alternate universe, and that was something that completely threw me off. Something I'm really expecting. Another thing I'm throwing out is if I get all the Trap Masters, I still need to cut the rest of the Swap Force. So I'll be doing a Swap Force versus Trap Master showdown, kind of like an elimination, a gauntlet of swords versus modes. Just letting y'all know that. And now, I noticed one of the pictures, I somehow deleted it, but it shows the key and chopper used in Skylanders Giants. It's actually making a return. They showed a lock-on button. If they're bringing that comeback, well, obviously they are, but I'm excited about that. I hope it's not just one level, but maybe kind of like the turrets, a little mini game where you could just practice with that. I hope they use it more. I'm really excited about that. And I'm going to bring up another theory. Remember the trap show theory I made a long time ago? That was really cool. But I found another piece of evidence. It's also kind of weak, but it's out there. It's evidence. I don't care what you say. I found a stat card of one of the Trap Masters, Crypt King. Crypt King and Trap Shadows. Their stats look so alike. I'm like, this can't be coincidence. Let me show you. I know it's hard to see, but you can clearly see how similar our stats are, almost exact, with Trap Shadow and Crypt King. Well, I'm afraid that's all I have today, I think. Let me check my sheet. Yeah. I have one last bit of news about the Eon's Elite. I talked about that a little bit last time. But when you buy it, if you buy an Eon's Elite, it turns out it's going to be fully upgraded. And I think, well, not upgraded, but I think it's going to have a lot of its upgrades money, and it'll be fully leveled up to the new level max. That's about it for today. I'll see you next time. Please enjoy, rate, subscribe, comment, tell me whatever you think. All right, goodbye, everyone.